You know, every single time you read something, a book, a street sign, even the title on this screen, you're using a piece of technology. And this technology is literally changing the physical structure of your brain. Okay, let's get into this because reading is one of the most powerful inventions in all of human history, and we're about to explore how it completely rewired our entire species.
It's so easy to take reading for granted, right? We think of it as this fundamental human skill, just like talking. But that's a huge misunderstanding. See, while our brains come hardwired for spoken language, they have absolutely zero built-in ability to read.
That's right. Reading is a piece of tech. It's an invention, no different from the wheel or the microchip. And just like any world-changing tool, it changed us. We aren't born readers, we become them. And we do that by basically running a software update that physically rewires our brain's hardware. So how on earth does our brain pull off this incredible, totally unnatural trick? How does it learn to decode all those little squiggles on a page and turn them into meaning? Well, the science behind it is it's absolutely fascinating.
If you think about it from an evolutionary point of view, reading is brand spanking new. Written language has only been around for a few thousand years. That's just a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. It's nowhere near enough time for our brains to have evolved a special, dedicated reading center.
So how does the brain solve this problem? It comes up with this brilliant hack. To create a reading circuit, your brain essentially borrows parts that were already doing other jobs. You know, things like vision, sound processing, language, attention, and it stitches them together in a brand new way. It repurposes old circuits for a radical new skill.
And we're not talking about some tiny little adjustment here. Learning to read is a full brain upgrade. It involves all four lobes of the cortex, and it fundamentally changes your brain's activity, its actual physical structure, and how all the different parts talk to each other. You are literally not the same person you were before you learned to read.
Okay, but here's where it gets even crazier. This whole rewiring process, it isn't one size fits all. The specific language and the type of writing system you learn to read actually sculpts your brain in its own unique way.
So let's just take a look at this. A language like English is alphabet-based. It works by connecting letters to sounds. That path really fires up the language processing centers in your brain. But then you have a logographic system, like Chinese, which connects a complex symbol directly to a whole idea or meaning. That process uses totally different areas, leaning much more heavily on visual memory.
And this isn't just a theory, we can actually see it in the real world. Get this, scientists studied a bilingual man who had a stroke. The stroke damaged a part of his brain, and poof, he completely lost the ability to read Chinese characters. But what's so incredible is that his ability to read English was perfectly fine. It's just powerful proof that his brain had built two totally separate, distinct circuits for reading.
And these changes, they aren't just all in your head. The act of deep reading is actually a surprisingly physical, full-body experience that connects directly to one of our most important human qualities.
Have you ever been reading a thriller and felt that character's anxiety right in the pit of your stomach? Or felt their heartbreak, almost like it was your own? Well, that's not just your imagination. That's a real physiological response happening inside your body.
Now, what's really going on here involves a part of the brain called the anterior insula. It handles gut feelings, pain, and discomfort. But here's the kicker. It's also a core region for empathy. So when you get lost in a book, you are literally doing reps for your empathy muscles by simulating the physical and emotional feelings of other people.
But this amazing reading brain, this thing we've built over thousands of years, is now up against a new and incredibly powerful force. Our technology is changing, and it's rewiring our brains all over again. Only this time, the results might be something to worry about.
The kind of thinking you do when you're deep in a book is focused, it's linear, it's immersive, it's the bedrock of critical thinking. But reading on a screen, well, that trains a completely different style, skimming. It's all about jumping from link to link. It's fragmented, it's distracted, and it makes us way more vulnerable to misinformation because we never slow down to actually think.
And listen, this isn't just a hunch. The data is really starting to pour in. Research is showing a direct negative link in kids. The more time they spend on screens at a young age, the worse their attention and their academic performance are later on.
So what's actually happening? Our brains are just doing what they do best. They're adapting. They're adapting to this new normal of constant stimulation and nonstop distraction. And the result? When we finally do go offline, that quiet focus needed for deep thought, it can actually start to feel boring.
Our brains are just craving that next hit of stimulus. Now, this isn't just about whether or not we can get through a long novel anymore. The stakes are much, much higher than that. The slow erosion of our deep reading brain has huge implications for the health of our society and maybe even our democracy itself.
A democracy that works depends on citizens who can do more than just skim headlines. It needs people who can analyze complicated arguments, tell the difference between fact and fiction, and think really deeply about the information they're taking in. These are the exact skills that deep reading builds, and the very skills that constant screen skimming chips away at.
So what's the fix? Well, the good news is the antidote isn't some complicated new gadget. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's been with us for centuries. It's about making a conscious choice to immerse ourselves and our kids in a life of reading. That means showing them how it's done and fiercely protecting the time and quiet space for deep focus in a world that is always trying to steal it.
So that leaves us with a pretty big question. We are what we read, and how we read shapes how we think. In an age that rewards us for speed and distraction, the choice to read deeply isn't just a hobby anymore. It's an act of cognitive self-preservation. The real question is, how will we protect it?